Welcome back, everyone. I'm pleased to see so many people have come back for day 3 of our CompuCell workshop. I'd like to remind you to log in to NanoHub if you're using the NanoHub deployment of CompuCell. I also need to remind you that this workshop will be live streamed and recorded and then distributed on YouTube. I hope that yesterday was productive for you, and we'd love to have your feedback about what worked, what didn't work, whether you could read the displays, whether you could follow the exercises, all of these things, too fast, too slow, all of these things. We'd be happy to have your suggestions for improvement. I'll remind you on the Zoom logistics. Please feel free to use the polls, which we'll put up periodically, and also the go slower, go faster buttons. I'd like to ask people to let us know if you were able to find the recordings of the videos of the sessions, and also to let us know if you have trouble finding any of the exercise material or the slide decks. Today is day 3. We're still covering material that we had originally thought we might cover in day 2. There's no set syllabus. This isn't a prerequisite for anything. And so you're certainly, we'd rather cover a smaller amount of material in more depth and make sure that people are able to follow. We're going to begin today by having Josh finish his example of how to create an epithelial cell layer, the idea of cell type transitions, and then we're going to move on to chemical fields, diffusion, modeling virus in the environment, and adding chemokines. And then we will begin to spatialize the immune cell model, and we'll talk about how motile cells work in CompuCell. At the moment, the cells you've been modeling are fixed in space. CompuCell is most useful when cells move. And when cells move, you have to control them in particular ways. We'll discuss how to do that. And we'll also discuss how to use CompuCell to emulate things like T cells that actively kill target cells. At the end of the day, we're going to have a session on the internals of CompuCell, how the computations are done, and we're going to use that as an opportunity to do a little bit of something different, not a virus model, but a model of a simple avascular tumor spheroid, and that'll give us an opportunity to understand how CompuCell models cell growth and cell division, mitosis. That lecture will be given by Dr. Maciek Swat, who was actually the original writer of CompuCell 3D. 2 modules that we had originally planned, namely viral replication models and interferon-induced viral resistance, we're going to push to the hackathon. We don't really have time to cover those in detail here. We're happy to work with people one-on-one if you want to understand how to do those things. Adding the viral replication models is actually pretty easy. Interferon-induced viral resistance is also pretty easy, but it would take a little bit more time than we're going to have during the flow of this particular workshop. If there are any questions about that, let us know. The schedule, of course, is approximate. Josh will finish up his module in the first half hour or so. Then TJ, Josh, will continue with the spatialization and the development of the immune response model in CompuCell. Late afternoon, Maciek will present the CC3D theory section, and we'll have our usual opportunity for questions and discussion at the end. I want to come back to the hackathon. We'd like to get some planning. There are a couple of things I want to say about the hackathon. First, everyone is welcome to participate. If you have people you're working with who did not participate in this workshop but do want to do the hackathon, you're welcome to have them join us. People who learned CompuCell independently and didn't participate in the workshop are also welcome to join us. We'd like to know, it's not required, but it would be helpful for our organization. We'd like to know who you are if you're planning on participating, and especially if you have an idea for a project already, and if you do, whether you already have a team or whether you're looking for team members. If you don't have a project but you're interested in the hackathon, we'll be glad to help you find a team to join. Please do let us know. If you're going to be participating in the hackathon and you have an idea already, we'd love to have you present a 2-slide teaser about your idea at the beginning of the hackathon Friday morning. There have been some inconsistencies in the scheduling. The current plan is the hackathon will begin at 11 a.m. Friday morning and end at 6 p.m. Sunday. Of course, people are welcome to participate as much or as little as they like for that period of time. You can start, see how you like it, and drop out if you like. People can join at any time as well. We'll do our best to make sure that it's productive for you. And our team will be available to help people throughout the hackathon. Otherwise, I'm going to just refer back to our usual set of DataHub links. I think people probably know the DataHub drill by now pretty well. Desktop app some people have used. I understand some people have had issues getting the Linux versions of CompuSol running. After the workshop is over, we're happy to work with you on getting that working. Resources, I hope, are still available for people. If people are having trouble finding class files, in particular videos or exercise sheets or slide decks, let us know. Giuliano will do his best to make sure the material is available in all of the appropriate sources. I think people are familiar with Slack by now. We'd like to have everyone join the Slack. That's probably less significant here, but in the workshop, the hackathon part of the course, that probably will be more helpful. And then I'd lastly like to list all the people involved. So far, you've heard from me, Jim Sluka a little bit, Andy Sumoji in the Python introduction. Joshua, of course, presented a lot yesterday. You'll be hearing today from Maciek. Giuliano presented on the first day. And Dr. Priyam Adyapak and Gilberto will be presenting also tomorrow. So with that, I'd like to check if there are any questions or comments that you have before we get started reviewing the materials from yesterday and continuing with